All right, episode number 3. Fantasy football season is upon us. We are coming to you live the night before the upcoming Chiefs Ravens game. A lot of excitement in the air. I always get a little bit depressed that summer's over. I just have to remind myself that I soon be sitting on my couch on a Sunday afternoon fucking looking at my FanDuel and ESPN app. Kind of in misery, but also very fun, obviously. Joined here by my co-host, Chris DeFalco. Chris, how are you doing?
Hi all. Doing well. Excited for week one upcoming here.
Week 1. So I have a stat to open us up. Every champion over the past 5 years of this league has opened up 1-0. So if you want to win the league, technically you have to win week 1.
How
Slight
many 1-0 teams make the playoffs? Don't
I
have
would
that
like to
stat
look that up.
prepared. Don't
I would
have it
like to look.
prepared.
I would also like to look that up. However, ESPN's data is terrible, and you can't pull anything. Slight adjustment to that stat. It's not a lot better saying top past 5 champions have all won week 1. Cory did not win week 1 last year. I blew his ass out like 140-90. But it just sounded a lot better saying that last 5 champions have finished started 1-0. But it is one of those things. If you're starting 1-0, there's a pep in your step. If you're 0-1, even if it's just one game, you're in a mental chamber there.
Yeah, I mean that's just not a place you want to be. You start looking for the panic button. You're reaching around. You're trying to find that button to push. You might get a little aggressive in the waiver wire. You might blow your nut on that first waiver that you need to pick. And
You
that's just not what you need to be doing.
you might trade for like Brandon Ayuk. I think that's what happened last year.
Yeah, Brian was fooled by the 31.9 points that Brandon Ayuk put on. Uh, who did they play the first week? They were away. Steelers, maybe. I think it was on the Steelers. He put 32 points on Patrick Peterson's head, and Brian came knocking. So I think the full details of the trade were Brandon Ayuk, Chuba Hubbard, no, Brandon Ayuk, and a running back. I think for AJ Brown and
Yep.
Chuba Hubbard. So I think it worked out pretty well.
So yeah, it worked out well for you, I think. I don't really know. I think Brian probably. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say he started off 0-1 last year. And we can get in. Let's actually get into that right now because there's a lot of trades that are being floated around right now, and I just think it's a little bit ridiculous to be trying to propose trades this early in the season. Literally, the game hasn't even went by. So literally anything that you wanted to do in terms of roster construction, you could have done it at the draft. And now you're over here, we'll have Cory on the podcast. Actually, he's coming on, reigning champ. We'll do that moving forward. If the podcast continues, we'll have the reigning champ on every year for the first couple episodes or whatever. But I mean, he's trying to get a running back right now, and he could have just drafted a running back. So I just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean it's again, we haven't even reached week one and he's pushing the panic button. So um, I think he's gonna soon find out whether that strategy was right or wrong. I think it's gonna show in the first few weeks whether he can, survive not having a running back.
We'll see. And going back to the Brian trade, Brian did finish start last year 0-1. He scored 62 points. So it's one thing if you're going starting 0-1, but if you're not cracking like 70, that's real. I guess Sunday scaries. Technically, it would be like Monday morning, Monday afternoon scaries, depending on who you got going on Monday Night Football. But that's a tough one. So yeah, we got the trades going on. I think we're also talking and saying, people like to fuck around with trades. They'll send you like these just disrespectful trade requests. I've gotten some in the past week. I think Tom sent me. Tom's like the king of doing this. I forget what he sent me, but it was
Yeah, just some random trades.
he wanted Tyreek Hill for Devontae Adams and like some scrub running back. I think it was the Chargers backup, and that's going to be an auto decline. I wish I could program the app to auto decline these trades. Have you got any weird ones?
Yeah, he offered me Xavier Worthy and some bum for hmm, maybe Kyron Williams, maybe somebody else. I don't know. Just it was another auto decline. So I think he was um under the influence while he was sending out those trades. Otherwise, I don't know what he could possibly be have thought.
Yeah,
Uh,
I feel like a
so
lot of people just sitting there at their desks during the day and just bored and just want to send out some trade requests.
yeah,
Which I get it. I understand. Work can be boring, but I don't know. Figure it out. Speaking of Kyron Williams, there's been a lot of chatter. Obviously, Sean McVay is making him return punts. There's a lot of league chatter. Everyone's shitting on you, Chris, because you have Kyron Williams. I don't think you want him returning punts either, but what is your level of concern with that uh roster move, I guess?
none. To be honest, none. Um, and I'll tell you why. It's because we haven't seen a kick of the football yet. So for me to be here concerned about this is a little too early. Let's see. I mean, are we talking one, two, three punts a game? I mean, what's the statistic on, how many punts are fair caught? I mean, if this guy's taking one or two extra hits, I mean, he's either fragile or he's not. So, yeah, do I want a guy being the punt returner? No. But did you see the news today that Blake Corum is the kick returner? So, like,
Okay.
what is the difference then at that point, in who's the running back? I mean, last year Cooper Cup was fielding punts, Tyreek Hill fields punts. I mean, yeah, it's an extra play that they can get hurt on, but I feel like Kyron Williams is already an injury risk that he's either going to get hurt or he's not. So I knew the risk going in and think he's going to have a good year and people are going to see that he's going to be hot and the Rams are just going to ride the hot hand.
Yeah, I think it's kind of just one of those things. I mean, there's probably stats out there somewhere on percentage of punts that are fair caught or percentage of kick returns that fair caught. But it's again, we haven't started the season yet, so it's like people just wanted to latch on to pretty much any headline out there. I mean, it was funny. There were some cool, funny memes about it. About obviously you don't want your RB1 returning punts and whatnot, but ultimately, I feel like a lot of the punt returns are usually just fair caught. And if the Ram and well, I don't really know about the Rams' defensive outlook to be honest, but we'll see how many punts they're actually fielding, especially nowadays. Everyone seems to be going
Yeah.
on a fourth down. Like I feel like there's also probably just a decrease in the overall amount of punts per game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not overly concerned to
But
be honest. Now that could change week one. It could change week two, right? We can have this conversation again. I mean, we can see what happens. We can see like, is he fielding a punt and then coming out of the game? Is he fielding a punt and then coming out of the game two plays later? Like that obviously wouldn't be great. But also, I don't know the scheme. I don't know what they're trying to run. So let's see what Sean McVay has, up his sleeve, but I think he would recognize that in today's NFL game, Kyron Williams' skill set is better than Blake Corum's, and therefore he's going to play more. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. But
yeah,
that's
I
where I
think
think is a good football mind is going to understand that he has the better skill set and he's going to play him.
yeah, I agree on most of those points. It's just classic overreaction. People trying to latch on, throw a few jabs. I know Corey had a few funny ones actually, which was surprising. Anyway, uh, other news around, I guess the NFL broader league. Trent Williams signed his extension. Brandon Ayuk signed his extension. So it seems like the 49ers will be at full offensive firepower heading into the week one matchup against my Jets. And I wasn't even expecting really Trent Williams to not play. Ayuk, I drafted him, so I was expecting that deal to kind of be worked out. And yeah, I guess full steam ahead for the 49ers. Any thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, I think I saw Christian McCaffrey's projected points go up by 5 after Trent Williams signed.
Is that
Um,
true?
it might have been point 0.5. I don't know, but I did see it go up.
Big difference.
However, what is factual is that the 49ers spread did go back to 4.5 after they signed, after it was down to 3. So clearly the bookmakers think that Trent Williams and Brandon Ayuk are extremely good players for the 49ers. Um, Saw something interesting that if Trent Williams didn't play, there was going to be a lot of concern for Brock Purdy and how that offense was going to, fare with him under, a very shaky line. Um, some people were saying it could be, another Dan Jones. That's just what people are saying. I don't know if that's true or not, but um, yeah, a lot of money tied up in these guys. Going to be curious to see what happens. But for you McCaffrey owners, certainly a good thing. For you Purdy owners, a good thing. And 49ers have a good outlook now.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's one of the probably best linemen, if not the best lineman in the league. And yeah, you don't really want Purdy's not really the most mobile guy, and if that blind side is not protected, that could end up in a lot of bad situations. I don't even know who their backup is. Do we know who their backup is?
I
Is it
don't.
like Nick Mullins,
Might be Ripon,
49ers?
maybe Brett Ripe or whatever his name
Josh
is. Josh
Flip
Dobbs.
Dubs. He was a 2 week fantasy goat last year. I picked him up,
Yeah,
and I was absolutely stunned.
that is right. Yeah, he was. You are correct.
Okay, so on that same note, like contracts, I mean, all these NFL players, they just have these teams in a vice, and I mean, it is if you're thinking just like overall strategy from them, like why would they play when, especially like in Trent Williams' example, yeah, full point and a half for Vegas bookmakers. I mean, that's pretty significant. And now we're talking about Jamar Chase, and it came out this past week that he wants to make one penny more than Justin Jefferson on his contract extension. Now, this kind of happened a little bit later during the training camp season and the summer. So curious to hear like what you think is going to happen with that situation. He was also a little bit hurt. I don't know about a hamstring, but he was practicing today. So I'm not really. It's hard for me to gauge this situation right now, and Devin owns him, so I don't really know what the outlook is there.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm Dev, I think there's a little bit of concern. You might lose a week of Jamar Chase, but I don't think you lose much more than that. Um, I think this is just a cat and mouse game. I think if a wise person would look back at examples of this and something that happened this year with another sport is look at the MLB. Scott Boras, well-known agent, always trying to drive up the price for his clients. The MLB owners took a stand, froze guys out, made them wait. Jordan Montgomery, awful season after a top 5 Cy Young finishing a season, fired his agent and said that he botched his free agency after a poor season. So I think at some point the NFL owners are going to fight back, and what we're going to see is an extension come into play. I think they're going to agree on something, or he's just going to play. I mean, if you're Jamar Chase, what do you really have to lose? I think, even if you blow out your ACL, I think you have a good chance to still get a signature, right? Like still get a contract, be able to be a good player that's highly paid. I mean, I just don't see how sitting out for the year and missing a game check or missing an entire season of game checks is worth the money that you're going to make on this contract extension that you're negotiating. Plus the bad good, the bad reputation you're going to have amongst the other owners.
Juju, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, though you see, I do think what you're saying is correct. I think the NFL ownership is going to have to push back a little bit because it seems just like, and I don't even think about the Jets from a Jets fan perspective. I mean, they got Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson next year. It's almost, uh, you know, known that they're not going to be in training camp unless they get that extension. But I think it is crazy for a guy like Jamar Chase who's kind of been hurt. He was hurt last year for him to say, "Oh, I need a contract extension." CeeDee Lamb, I can kind of see that one a little bit more because he's been healthy. But some of these guys, yeah, it's just a little bit insane, and they're gonna have to push back. But so you think that will Jamar Chase get the contract extension, or you think he's just gonna play through it?
Um, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I think I could see it happening both ways. I think I could see him playing. I don't think he misses game week 1. Let's say unless it's an injury, unless they report an injury, let's say, right? Um, but for him to miss game week 1, I think is a stretch.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, so it seems like we're thinking he won't miss game one. And even if he did miss game one, that would be the only week he would miss, and then he'd probably play starting week two. So Devin, don't have to worry too much there. You do have to worry a little bit about Kyle Pitts. Here's a this is a polarizing guy, high draft pick in the actual NFL draft, but hasn't really came into fruition any of the last few years. He's actually been a huge bust. Um, and I think that, I think I heard that he's got a hamstring injury. So he might not be playing this week. So there's some level of concern there. I don't want to spend too much time talking about Kyle Pitts. So I'm a little bit distracted. Jets
Yeah,
winter Grand Slam.
you're kidding. That's her
No.
back.
Back. All right, keep going.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head there. Kyle Pitts risk huge upside, very little return. I think he's gonna go down as one of those guys that you're just gonna always, what if, showed great potential in college, haven't used him right. Has that butchered his confidence? Has the timing been wrong? I don't know, but it looks like his career is not really gonna head, on the upwards trajectory. So we'll see. But really
Sure.
optimistic. I like Kyle Pitts. Had him in multiple leagues his rookie year, and then just haven't been able to commit back to him. But he does have a good quarterback. He should have a much better playbook for him. So we should see, and hopefully he can turn it around.
Yes, sir. I'm banking on the Kirk Cousins, obviously with my Drake London pick. So I'm hoping there's going to be some positive regression for the Atlanta offense there. I think that's pretty much it in terms of around the league NFL stuff. We are just waiting on Cory to join. Once Cory joins, what we'll plan to do is just go down a list of the matchups for this week, like fantasy matchups. So we'll do that. Kind of talk about each matchup, maybe make some predictions, and get that insight. So let's. Oh, there he is, Mr.
Yo, what's up?
Welcome on the pod, reigning champ. You are our first guest. I mean, I think we'll do that moving forward, as I mentioned before. Whoever wins the year before should be the first guest. So, welcome on the pod. Congrats.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Not much. What's that shirt? Legalized.
Steroids make baseball great again.
You might get us banned
Baseball was a
on
fun thing to
YouTube.
watch. Hmm.
Might have to download the MP4
Looks
file.
looks sunny where you are, Corey.
Yeah, it's just a filter on the back of my screen or on my
Good,
screen.
good lighting.
Bad lighting, actually, but
You
Zoom
standing up
does.
right now?
I am standing desk.
Wow.
Good for the health. Got to
Wow.
move around a
Okay.
little bit when you're strapped to the computer for 10 hours straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's in wait, that's in your bedroom?
Correct. Where do you want me to go, Chris? I live in a one-bedroom apartment.
Why don't you
It's
put your
here in the
desk
living room.
Yeah, why don't you put it in the living room?
And then what is Angie gonna do when she gets back from school? Gonna lay in bed all day?
Tough.
I mean,
I
also
mean,
I'm on calls when she gets home, so if I'm in the living room, a little less privacy out there. So
yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
Yeah, it's tough.
yeah. That's what
Yeah,
it is,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
Times
yeah,
are
yeah.
tough. One bedroom
Yeah.
apartment life.
What time does Ange get home? I mean, I live in a one bedroom apartment. My desk is in the living room.
Uh, she gets home like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Oh yeah, Jay doesn't really get home till like 4:30.
Yeah. I just got off the computer at 7, so
Damn, grinding.
You know,
Are you grinding prep for this, or are you grinding for like corporate?
corporate grind. Maybe a
Ah,
little bit of prep though. Fully
a little bit
prepared
of prep.
to give the
Do some
people what they
analysis.
want. A little analysis, a little deep dive.
Okay, okay. So firstly, I need to ask you about the Yanks and their outlook real quick. Give me a 1 minute outlook for the rest of their season.
Yanks. Bumped in the wild card round. Simple as that. I mean, as a Yankees fan, I feel like I gotta give them a little tough love. You love them when they're great. You hate them when they're bad. Clay Holmes last night, not who I want in the game. Not who I want in the game. It's heart attack Holmes comes in the ninth inning and a couple walks, a knock. Next thing you know, Wyatt Langford's putting one deep into the left field seats. So we're back where we were. Cashman was had his thumb up his ass at the deadline. Didn't make a move. Thought he had a good team in the bullpen, but clearly not. So first round or wild card exit, I think. Uh, Maybe they get into the championship series and just get absolutely demolished by like Baltimore. Um, but yeah,
All right. All right. That's fair. Yeah, that was a tough one last night. I woke up to it. I obviously wasn't watching, but
yeah.
yeah,
I
a guy named
followed it on in
Wyatt.
Gamecast. So
Gamecast, where were you?
I
Why weren't you
was in bed. I
watching?
didn't want to have the TV on and just sleeping. So it's
Oh
like the
God,
most painful
no.
way to watch a game.
No, Danielle, that's fully if the Mets are on, the game's on the TV, and Danielle will do the same. She'll put on, Succession or whatever while I'm trying to sleep. It's like we were watch the show and you still have the TV show, whatever. Regardless, besides the point. All right, let's get into it. So obviously you won last year. What do you think the key to success was last year? Is there anything you did differently last year? That you may not have done in years past? Were you paying for picks? I know there's a 1 year you gave the guy $1 for draft advice, but anything that you did differently last year that you think was the key to success?
Yeah, I think last year was good coaching. Feel like being on top of the waiver wire, jumping on guys at what is it open? Like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just so happened to wake up at the hour and grab some people. Some would say I had an alarm set. I would say I just happened to wake up to take a piss and caught somebody at the right time. But overall, I think, we went zero RB. It worked last year. I will say, and happy to dive into it a little bit deeper, it was probably an aggressive move this year. We will see how it works out for me in the end. Had a little luck last year. Chris, rightfully so, had a really strong team, and they just didn't perform when they needed to. Um, my team showed up when it needed to. We weren't the best team, we know that, but we got a bunch of dogs last year, hence the name. Um, but yeah, we're hopeful that this year will be a little bit better. I know coming out of the gate, Fantasy Pros projection has us like 10th out of 12. Not great for the defending champ, but a couple things fall our way. Nick Chubb comes back, maybe really takes us to the next level, or championship slump, but we'll see.
Yeah,
What
I
do you got
mean,
for me? Fire at me with something.
no, I mean, I was gonna let Chris jump in, but I was gonna say that, yeah, like the wide receiver, the no wide receiver strategy,
No running
sometimes it
back.
works. This year, again, now here's the problem, Corey, is where I'm running into a little bit of trouble here. You are sending trade requests for running backs now.
Yeah, so feel like we're positioned pretty well at the wide receiver position. Some would say running back position is a little slim, a little unknown, even I might add.
But 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 my
So
thing is,
we're definitely open to trade conversation. There's some teams out there that are lacking at the wide receiver area. Um, so we're always open, right? We're always looking to improve our team in any way that we can, and we'll continue to do
But
that.
you're not in the power position. Don't you understand that? You're not the one that could trade some bum receiver you picked in the eighth round for a running back picked in the fourth round, saying, "Oh, he's going to be a good receiver." Not how
Okay,
this
all right.
works.
So
You
enlighten me.
picked. You
Who
picked.
are the eighth round receivers that I'm trying to
You
shop
picked.
around?
Okay, who are you trying to trade? Go ahead. Give me a trade offer that got declined.
Listen,
Go ahead.
we are open to moving
Go ahead,
anyone. No
Corey.
one's safe on my
he's trying
team.
he's,
Well,
he's
Terry
trying to get Terry
McLaurin. Terry
McLaurin.
McLaurin is
Exactly.
out there.
Terry
This
McLaurin
guy,
for who?
Scary Terry, this is his year.
For who?
So I had some discussions with another league member. I won't name. It's confidential. It's business decisions, business conversation. I'm not going to name them. They were, but they declined a trade. We tried to get a running back. This
But
this individual has some speculation around one of the receivers' availability week one.
yeah, we
Some
know
would
who it is.
say
We know
that
we know it's
some would say
Devin.
they don't want to fall down 0-1 or out of the gate. They don't want to stumble. So great opportunity to add a guy like Terry McLaurin. Jaden Daniels could be the future of this fantasy league.
Wait a minute. What did you say, Roberto?
I said we know it's Devin. He's
Yeah,
trying to
he's
make the
trying
trade
to
with.
trade Josh Jacobs, who was picked 2 rounds ahead of Terry McLaurin. Yet he's the one who needs the running back, and he's trying to
Yeah.
trade for him. Why would
Hey,
Devin make that move?
Josh Jacobs is somebody that we heavily recruited. We were watching tape,
He
watching
was
things
picked
go
2 rounds
on,
before
and we
Terry
passed
McLaurin.
on him. We passed on him, and we understand that we might have made a mistake there, and we see as an opportunity to add him. We think he'd be an asset to our
But you have to
squad.
offer more than one player who was picked 2 rounds after
Ah,
him.
but
That's
we're
not
not
how
looking.
that
It's not
works.
just round value though.
But
It's
the
value of the
season hasn't
player and what
started yet.
value of the player and what they can provide to a team and filling gaps. Dev, for example, take Jamar Chase, bad locker room guy. Guy's gonna sit out. He's not. He's best ability is availability. So when he's sitting on the pine pony and he's
But then
not giving
he's going
Dev
to
any
be in the same
points,
problem that you're having with no running backs.
he's got Montgomery. He's got Montgomery. He's
This
got ETN and
conversation
Montgomery. He's fine.
is
We
Pick
going
only
somewhere.
need
Montgomery
two.
after you pick DeAndre Swift.
We thought Swift was better fit for
Corey,
our team, our locker room.
you literally could have just drafted Josh Jacobs. Like
Yeah.
you picked
Yeah,
the team. Well, so
yeah. I
why did you
mean,
do that?
Corey, I'll
what
cut you.
happens is when
Corey,
we're
I'll cut you a good deal. Tony Pollard
Tony Pollard.
no
Okay, doing
and
live trade
and
negotiations.
live trade on the pod.
Tony Pollard.
Let the people vote whether this is bullshit or not. Go ahead, Chris.
Honestly, this might not be a bad trade for you, but
Yeah,
I feel
hit
like
my
I don't want to
PMs.
do it. No. I was gonna say Tony Pollard. I would say D Hop. I prefer not to give up a Dunze.
Yeah, we'll discuss. Hit me up. My line's
Okay.
open.
Okay.
But we're going into this
Yeah.
year optimistic
I
is
mean,
the word of our
I
team this
just
year.
my thing is I just don't know why we're trying to make trades when we could have just done this. Like again, we just had the draft. You just draft the guys you want, and then realistically, the only time to make trades is after the first week when everything's kind of like you get a more feel for your team. But doing it before the season even started, I just don't really understand it. But anyways, besides the point, let's get into week one previews. So first off, we're gonna go with your matchup core. We got.
So
Let me
Tom's
do
getting smoked.
what we're
a
gonna
little
do
screen
is we're
share.
going to each give a pick for each matchup with the spread. Corey will be his picks will go under the celebrity guest picker column as the interviewee, and all picks will be tracked, and a win loss will be provided and updated weekly. So we're going to go ahead and start here with the first matchup of Tom versus Corey. We have a 6-point spread. We don't need to get into the 5.9 detail here. We're going to go with 6 points. We know where Corey's pick's going to be. So he will be picking his own team +6. But I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. I think
Your boy
the
Diggs.
first game of the year is going to be very, very big for Corey with Pat Mahomes on Thursday night. And Tom has a big Monday night game. He's got Purdy and Brees Hall. So, Corey has a good chance to get out in front, put some pressure on Tom. However, I do think I'm going to take Corey +6. It's going to be my pick. Hate to do it, but I had to get my hands dirty there.
There we go.
Saw no way Corey was winning this matchup, so I'm going to fade myself. Corey +6.
Take the points now, Corey.
Take the points.
You do have Mahomes against Hanley's Kelsey and Rashi Rice. So that does sort of cancel itself out a little bit. So, I'll also ride that pick. Now the interesting part about this matchup is very heavily dependent on Monday Night Football. Corey's got Garrett Wilson. Tom's got Brees Hall, the 1 of 1 pick this year, and Brock Purdy. Now, I would assume that Corey, you're probably going to be in the lead if you just take the fact that he's got 2 players going. You're only going to have 1 player, so you'll have one more player on Sunday, I guess. Which always puts people into a precarious situation because that Monday night sweat is just not one you want to be doing. Especially if you are. I feel like it's even worse if you're in the driver's seat and you're winning,
Oh yeah.
and then you got somebody else like they got 1 player, and
And you're
you're
just
just
like
like
hawking the entire game. They throw the ball to them, they get yardage, they get points. You're just staring at it.
every time that ball's in the air, your butthole just clenches a little
Yeah.
bit. Just hope it's not to
Yeah.
Rashi Rice or Travis Kelsey.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Um,
Thursday. You're talking. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Thursday. Sorry. Where Garrett Wilson, if Tom's winning or whatever the circumstance
Yeah.
is. But what's your outlook for your matchup?
I think it's gonna be a dogfight. Tom's already in my PMs, talking his talk. It's what Tom does. Sadly, he hasn't been able to back it up over these couple of years. Don't see his name on the trophy. Quite frankly, don't know if we ever will. Hasn't been a manager that's been able to prove himself. You know, I'm confident in this matchup. I think where we're where we're trying to figure it out is at the running back position. It's a big question mark. You know, DeAndre Swift can really establish himself on the backfield. Eckler and Brian Robinson, you don't know who's going to get it. They might split the entire year, so that could kill me. But we saw Diggs really shit the bed last year for Chris. Sorry to rub that one in, but people don't forget. And a lot of people to spread the ball around in Houston. Vontae Adams, guys, Gardner Minshew throwing him the football. Don't feel too confident about that. Um,
Okay. Okay.
Kelsey's gonna be throwing up hearts into the stands all game. Don't think his head is in the right spot. I'm taking me over Tom confidently.
Money line or just with the points?
And I'm just a money line guy.
Okay, money line. We're not gonna get spread. So
Yeah,
Corey's doing money line and the spread. So I guess well, I'm on Corey's spread. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Corey, your running back situation. Are you just like
sauce
flip flopping between Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr.? Is it like some
playing the
days you
hot
wait?
hand.
What do you mean the hot hand? This game just hasn't started.
We'll
All
see. I mean,
right.
the first week one's a toss up. Week
Who are
one's
you
a
gonna
toss up.
who are you gonna start?
Probably Eckler. In a situation where I feel like Washington's gonna be down, I feel like they're gonna be throwing the ball more, Eckler more receptions in a instance where I feel like Washington's gonna be up and pounding a team, which I don't know, might not be a lot. I'm taking Brian Robinson and get carries, so
All
we'll
right,
see.
okay. That's a fair strategy, I would say. All right, so we'll move on to the next game unless anybody else has any closing thoughts on this one.
Nope.
Nope.
Let's go to the next one.
Next one I have is Brian versus Matt. So this
Five
one, what do we
point
got?
spread.
5 point spread.
Brian. Yeah.
Chris,
So
open us up here with your thoughts.
so I think I do like Matt's team. I think Matt picked a good team this year. He's got a lot of depth. Um, don't love Evan Ingram, but who loves Evan Ingram? Nobody loves Evan Ingram. It's a dirty
Giants
pick.
fans
Had to
certainly
had
don't.
to be dirty there. CJ Stroud, Bijan Robinson, 2 players who can consistently put up 20 points a week and be good there. Um, however, I do appreciate um Brian's team here. I think McCaffrey, really good pick, solid. Achan going to be good. He's got the Joe Burrow, T. Higgins stack. I think that's going to pay a lot of dividends this year, especially if Jamar Chase ruffles some feathers, has some injuries. Next thing you know, he's playing 8 games. T. Higgins in a contract year. Think it was a good pick. I'm going to take Brian -5 against Matt.
Bro, what do you got?
I'll probably say Brian as well. minus, yeah, it's like about a 5 point spread. I'll say I like Brian's team because I did want to draft Devon A. I kind of wanted to draft CMC. I don't know. I felt a little bit iffy about it. I think where I have some problems with Matt's team is going to be at that wide receiver position. Michael Pittman Jr. A lot of people are saying AR, Anthony Richardson, he can't throw the ball. So I'm a little bit suspect there. And then, with DJ Moore, a little concerned there. I know Caleb Williams is supposed to be the best thing since fucking sliced bread. However, he's still a rookie quarterback going out there on week one of the NFL season. So we don't know who's he going to be throwing the ball to. Like maybe he has a preference or he has a better feel for some guys like Keenan Allen's there too. So I'm going to go with Brian's team for this one.
Yeah, I think I'm riding Brian's team also. Not really feeling too confident with Anthony Richardson throwing Pittman the ball. I think Frank is in for a long season ahead, thinking that that's his quarterback that's going to ride him to the promised land. Um, Same thing with DJ Moore. I feel like there's just the ball's got to get passed around. Don't really see him eating up targets. Though I will say Brian's team is going to win this matchup, but Brian is not feeling too confident about his squad. Not to throw him under the bus, but over the course of the workday today, I had about 4 trade offers with a bunch of different packages of people on his squad.
Corey,
So
just air out other owners. Air
little
them
bit of
out.
controversy. I'm
Airing
here. I'm
them
here to give the
out.
people a show, right? I'm here. So
If you
Brian
want to trade on
really.
the down low, don't call Corey.
Yeah, I'm here to voice it, here to expose the people. I could have had Achan, could have had Cooper, could have
And
had a
you
bunch of them
don't. You have
today.
no running backs. That's it.
But I was like, you know what? We're riding with our squad. Thanks, Brian, for hitting me up, and let's move on to the next pick. But Brian, you got this one. But Matt Hanley, good picking this year. Glad you didn't reach on Justin Tucker again.
All right. We
uh,
got
yeah. What's the next one? What's the next one you have, Chris?
I
I
got
got
I'm on your mom against Tabaki.
yeah, that's what I had.
Jagger versus Devin. 2.5. 2.5.
It's gonna be a blowout,
Oh,
Jagger.
All right,
oh,
Corey's on Jagger.
go for.
Tom Bro.
I mean, yeah, this is really just a toss up.
Dak against Cleveland. Don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, Cleveland does have a good defense.
Kyle
I'm just
Pitt's
gonna go with I'm
questionable.
just gonna go with Devin because we've been just on each other's picks. So I'll go with Devin with
Good.
the
I'll take
points.
Jagger. Jagger, good squad. Solid squad. I think Cooper Kupp has a big week one. I think that's going to be a slugfest. He's got both receivers in that Sunday night game. Cooper Kupp, Amon, Ross, St. Brown, both target monsters. Let's see how the Rams utilize Cooper Kupp with a fully healthy offense and Puka Nakua in there. Both of them were sharing targets towards the end of the year when Cooper Kupp came back. Let's see who takes the lead role. James Conner, great pick for Jagger. I want him. Text me. Devin's team right now getting 3.5 points. However, he does have Jamar Chase sitting there with a 19.3 projection who may not play. If that's the
Doomsday.
case, he's going to have to sub in another wide receiver, which will put him at a severe disadvantage. Plus, Kyle Pitts may not play, doesn't have another tight end on the roster. Too much variability to try to get in for week one. Therefore, I'm taking Jagger.
Yeah, I think Jagger too, just a really good squad. I think Jake Ferguson's gonna be an awesome pick for him when the year is over. I mean, they got to throw the ball to somebody else at some point on the Dallas offense. Also Cooper Kupp, great value that he got, especially given that he's not going to really be losing a lot of targets to Kyron Williams, who's going to be taking back punts this year. So Cooper Kupp should be a target monster on that offense.
All right. Yeah. I agree. Jagger's team pretty solid. I think Dev's team, it's just some injury concerns, but I like his running back depth. Hopefully they pound it out on during week one. Next one I got is this is our Miller Lite matchup of the week. We got Chris going up against Fada. There was
A lot of shit talking.
a lot of shit talking at the draft. There were a
Basically even 50-50.
few draft picks that Chris didn't like, that Fada liked.
This one's
So
personal.
it's a little bit personal, a bit of a rivalry brewing here. Big Ten guys both as well. There was John about Michigan, Penn State, blah blah blah. So yeah, let's tee this up here. I mean, I think from my perspective, this is going to be a close one, but I think it ends up coming down to the quarterback position. And again, what I've been hearing about Anthony Richardson coming out of Colts camp, not hearing the best things, and Lamar is going to be going against the Chiefs defense, which is one of the best defenses in
Tough
the
D.
league. However, it's going to be a high scoring game. I think he's going to be running the ball a lot. So I'm going to go with Chris's team. Now, there's pretty much no spread here. It's pretty much pick 'em. But I'll go with Chris's team. And this one should, there's no Monday night on this. So at least by Sunday afternoon or Sunday night, you'll know who the winner is.
Nothing to sweat on Monday.
That is correct. That
Wanna,
is
wanna,
correct.
you want to discuss this week one matchup, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a toss up here by the points. However, I do think my team comes out ready to play. I think Justin Jefferson against the Giants secondary is going to be a matchup, key one to watch. I think if Justin Jefferson can surpass 25 points, my team will win. If he does not, I do not think I will win. I'm going to put that on Justin Jefferson. Hope he's coming out ready to play. I also think, to your point, it is going to come down to the quarterback position. Anthony Richardson against a good Houston defense coming back from injury. I could see him getting a lot of his points on the ground this game. Usually, quarterbacks like that will revert back to running if they can't get the ball down the field. So a little bit of a favor there for Frank. And then we're looking at Lamar. I think Lamar's a great player. I think Lamar's an even better player at 1 o'clock. I don't know that Lamar's great on a Thursday night to open the season, but I am just hoping that he is wanting to put on a statement here and can find the end zone on the ground just as easy as Anthony Richardson. So I think if my key players step up, Lamar and Justin Jefferson, I think my team will be able to win. And if they don't, it's going to be a very, very tough week for us. But I do think my team gets it done.
All right, Corey, your boy Theta versus
Yeah.
Chris. Who you got?
Pains me to say this. Sorry, Frank. I think Chris's team comes out on top week one. Chris, hats off to you, man. I think you drafted a great team. Let's see what turns out to be at the end of the year. Your team typically stumbles the last couple of weeks. But I think Frank just has a lot of question marks. He invested in a lot of young talent. I don't know if he thought that this was a dynasty league, if he was going to be able to keep some players or not. I think maybe that was his draft strategy. Probably to win Miller Lights at the Alexis, but Anthony Richardson, not a lot of unproven potential there, possibly. Puka Nakua had a great year last year. Don't know if he can really surpass that. Marvin Harrison Jr., rookie. Keon Coleman, rookie. Um, Zamir White, this is finally his year to own the backfield. We'll see what happens, but I think Chris has a lot of proven veterans and a lot of firepower. I think Chris takes this one.
All right, yeah. I mean, I'm also just curious about Keon Coleman in the flex position. Frank does have a good bench. I don't know if that's the guy I would go with. Again, but it is the Cardinals defense, so maybe that's the logic there. But all right, so Fade is not gonna like that one. We're all on Chris's team.
Yeah, we'll hear about this
Fado,
one in the group chat.
yeah, we'll hear about this one at 7 a.m. in the group chat
Uh,
as it was 6 a.m. while I was driving to work. Next matchup I got on my docket is Battle of the Commissioners. So I got myself going up against Josh Handler, or as we better know him, the Man Bear Jew Pig.
Classic name.
Classic name. This is like a toss up. It's 120 projected points to 119.3.
So we'll give a point. It's a point spread. We'll give 1 point spread.
We'll give a point to Josh. Chris, Corey, anyone want to lead off?
Cory, you can lead off. Let you take this one.
Sure. Um, I'm thinking Josh. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, I think is going to have a really bounce back year. Chris actually suggested I take him at the draft. I typically don't listen to Chris. Sometimes it bites me, sometimes it doesn't. So I took Garrett Wilson. Josh then took Taylor later on. But I think Jonathan Taylor's going to have a great year. I think Josh's team is just really strong. I think Kyler Murray bounced back, has a really good season. Devonta Smith, I think, was being undervalued in drafts. I think that was a steal for Josh. I think it's a really good pick, as was Calvin Ridley. Yes, Hopkins is going to take some of the target share there, but I think Calvin Ridley's going to eat as well. And Rowe, I don't know. Jalen Warren, I wrote him last year. Him and Najee Harris, they really get this split thing going in the backfield. It's gonna be a week to week thing. Um, Drake London had a lot of hype. We'll see if he lives up to it. I didn't think Drake London was going to get drafted so high at this time last year, and sure enough, he is now. So we'll see if Kirk Cousins can pepper him. But yeah, and see what kind of shape Brandon Ayuk's in. Waited out so long on his contract. Now he's here. See what kind of target share he gets. But I'm taking Josh in this one. My OG commish. Chris?
Okay.
So as the current lineups are set, I would be taking Josh. I'm not here to coach or influence a decision. However, what scares me about Rose team, Jordan Love. We're going to Brazil, a lot of gang-related violence. I'm hearing a lot of don't bring your
Yeah, hope
families, a lot
stay
of,
safe.
a lot of that taxes there. I don't know what the case is. However,
Great for the
hearing not
league,
great
bad for the
things.
people.
So I'm going to go ahead and say, it's going to take a lot for Jordan Love to have a great game. I think Jalen Warren stinks. If I was coaching this team, I would have Jerome Ford in there, understanding it's a tough matchup. However, there are no other running backs on the Browns. If the Cowboys get to the quarterback, there will be a lot of dump passes to the running back. If Jerome Ford is in there, the seesaw tips back towards Roberto. And then to top that off, Brandon Ayuk being in there should not be in there.
Rowe is
Brandon
about to
Ayuk,
do like a
he's
live
been
switch
out.
on air. He's gonna
He's
be
been
like, "Damn,
out
you're right."
all summer long. He's coming back against the best secondary in the league in the first night in prime time. Could that backfire? Yes. However, I would take the safer route and play Tank Dell 1 o'clock
Dude,
in a
what is this
dome
live coaching?
against the
Who are you
Colts.
taking?
If he does
As
take
is lineup.
if he does take those players, I will take Roberto. If not, I'm on Josh's
Jeez, for
side.
anybody watching
Yeah,
this
yeah, that
pod,
works.
by the time you're actually able to see it, Roberto's lineup will be completely
First
different.
of all,
So
first of
shout out
all,
to
look,
Chris for all the coaching advice for
Brandon.
a one-time
I,
league champ.
Cory, I'm not a league champ, so why is he listening to me?
I wouldn't. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just saying that. So you asked me for I'm just saying. I think the
I'm
coaching right
top
now.
three. I'm top three in the
I
last six
think
years that we did this league.
I
So,
think you're
Oh,
top three
oh,
in what?
that's
well, I'm three top three finishes in the 6 years of our league.
wow. That's some
One chip,
analytics.
one
Analytics
chip,
right there.
one chip. Would have had two, but we all remember the Camara Christmas Day where Roberto beat me. So
I don't know if
that
that
one's
was
like a little bit of
Christmas.
an
I don't know
outlier,
if that was Christmas Day though. I think we have to
or
look back
whenever
at
it was.
the
But
league history.
look
'Cause we
look
played
back,
we played on New Year's. We
or maybe it
played
was
like
New
I remember
Year's.
we were moving into Chris's to our apartment, and then
Yeah.
I don't think it was on Christmas.
Yeah, whatever
Whatever.
day it was, Camara had
Besides the
himself a
point,
day, and Roberto took a
Corey.
chip away from me. So
Whatever. Getting back to the original point.
bring
So
it back.
The Ayuk thing. Uh, I understand that there's some concern that he hasn't been in camp. However, he was there all of last year. I feel like chemistry there should be pretty easy to slide back into. And also, he's going against Monday. I don't think as it's currently situated, Josh has anybody going. He's got Kittle going on Monday night. So whatever, Kittle stinks. Hopefully, that doesn't come back to bite me. But I want Ayuk in there just in case I'm trailing a little bit, can catch him there. And then yeah, the running back situation. I could very well probably switch Jerome Ford in there. The matchup with the Cowboys isn't great. But Jalen Warren is also still questionable with his hamstring. So I'm a little bit concerned about how many snaps he's going to be on the field for. So I may end up switching that one. In terms of the quarterback, I'll have to look at the rankings between Tua and Jordan Love. Yes, Jordan Love is going to Brazil. Yes, the Eagles, pretty solid team. I think their defense may be a little bit generally overrated. I gotta go with my guy Jordan Love. However, having that Tua and Tyreek stack is enticing. So,
Something to think about.
we will be considering some adjustments. Most likely the Jerome Ford for Jalen Warren is probably what's gonna happen. Tanked out, I
Arthur
don't really
Smith's
like the
gonna
matchup.
kill you all year, bro. I would get rid of Warren now.
Okay, Cory, I know you want him. I'm not trading you him for fucking I don't even know who's on
Bag
your
of
bench.
peanuts.
Yeah, I don't know who's on your bench, but all right. So that's
Swing
that
your Ray
matchup.
Davis.
I don't want Ray Davis. You sent me that,
Little
I think, because
handcuff.
he's James Cook's backup.
All
Little
right, final
handcuff.
matchup: the Pope Bros
The
heavyweight battle.
This is the matchup of the
classic.
week.
Go ahead, Ro, kick
Well,
us off.
the Pope Bros where they're at right now. It's a big brotherly love situation. The Mayfair era is coming to an end, unfortunately. So
Tough
I think they're
time.
on really good terms at the moment. So there's no bad blood here. I think obviously last year Adam did boot Derek out of the playoffs to eventually
Get
lose to Cory
smoked by me.
in the finals. However, again, like this is usually a matchup filled with some bad blood. Right now, it's the brotherly love cup. However, I will say, week one at Alexis, Adam has too many beers, does the
Things get
wrong thing to
chippy.
Derek, could end up with a backyard brawl in the Alexis parking lot. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this matchup? It's a big spread difference. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it says CeeDee Lamb's out. We can't use this spread.
Yeah. Now his point, his projection is still there. It's being factored in.
No, it's a 3 point spread for Adam.
I don't know why mine says
Mine does the
109.1.
same, but
Yeah.
CD Lamb being in there puts it at 129.6.
Uh, okay, is it?
If
I
you
guess it's different on desktop
It's
on mobile.
no,
129.4 to
if you look at his
126.1.
roster, yeah, if you look at his roster, it shows it like in his homepage,
Yeah. Okay, I got it. So he's what 120? You said.
129. It's
0.4,
Adam. Adam is what 2.5 points, 3 points, 3 points,
3.5,
Gonna be a shootout.
3.5,
or not 3.3.
3.3, 3 points. Let's call it 3 points.
Yeah.
All right, so 3 points for Adam. I mean, look, in this matchup, Derek's really he's gonna live and die by the Eagles. So, I mean,
Fly, Derek, fly.
they're not playing now. They're at home, but they're not in whatever is it, Lincoln Center or whatever the fuck it is
The
in
link.
Philly.
Dump.
They're in Rio
All the
de Janeiro.
degenerates.
Rio de Janeiro. So he's really gonna know, I guess, by pretty much. And he's got Zay Flowers going on Thursday night too. So half of his team will be wiped out by Saturday. So I think I'm gonna have to go with Adam in this matchup. I just think overall, not having to depend on that one team with the Eagles, and he's got players against Allen going against the Cardinals. I mean, he might score like 50 points. Derrick Henry against the Chiefs, they're going to be running the ball, and it's going to be a lot of scoring there. CeeDee Lamb against the Browns. Browns good defense, but he'll still get his points. I think Christian Kirk was one of the steals of the draft. I think he's going to be solid. And then Derek, yeah, he's some parts of his team I don't love. The Brock Bowers rookie tight end. I like drafting rookies, but rookie tight end seems like I feel like that never really goes well. Maybe I just have Kyle Pitts in my mind.
He was limited
Uh,
today too. Might not play. So something to
Limited.
watch. Got no
Corey,
tight ends on the bench. Might have to do a
actually,
little shifting.
how do you just have ESPN on 24/7, or do you have like fantasy alerts? What's going on here?
Dude, I'm just an active general manager looking to repeat as champ. So yeah, I dabble into the news a little bit here and there throughout the day.
All right. So bottom line is I'll take Adam, whatever it is, minus 3 points. Corey, what are your thoughts?
I'm also riding Adam with this one. CD Lamb actually torched him to win the chip last year. So funny that he's now on Adam's team. Uh, Treat him well. He took care of me. But yeah, I think Adam's team, top to bottom, is actually a really good team. Adam, first year, invested in Fantasy Pros for some advice during the draft. Great choice. Helped you. Um,
Very comment about that.
yeah. Derrick Henry, I think, is gonna have at least two scores against Kansas City. I think they're gonna move the ball well. Yeah, I mean, Derek's riding and dying by Philly. If Philly comes out and actually pumps Green Bay, I think he's got a shot. But if not, I think Adam wins this one double digits.
I'm not gonna make a team selection. I'm gonna take the under in points. I think that this fucking point is massive. Okay, we're talking, I'm
A
no
lot of
mathematician
points.
here, but what is that? 265,
Yeah, just under
255, 255. That's a lot of fucking points for week
That's
one
a
here.
lot
We're
of
talking
points.
about a team that's got three players on the same team playing in Brazil. I mean, what are we talking about here? We're taking the under. We're
who's
taking the
making these
under
up.
all day long. on this game.
I, I did
Under
not
the
know that was an
lock.
option. I did not know that was an option. But
Taking the under.
you had to pick a side though. Who would you pick?
Derek, give me the points. Give me the points.
Oh,
It's gonna be a heavyweight blow. It's gonna be score for
you think
score. It's gonna
Derek?
be deep ball after deep ball is what this matchup's gonna feel like. Give me the points.
All right. There you have it. Also, yeah, going back to what you were saying, Corey, Adam was drafting with I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the auto draft with the fantasy pros. I guess it's like a tool kit. Some would say that's a little bit, I don't know if it's Mickey Mouse or maybe it's a little bit Bill Belichick Spygate. We're gonna have to really reconsider what's allowed in terms of drafts tools for next year's draft. He was
Dude, pulling it
literally
on some accounts.
just fucking putting in every pick. I think going with what the algorithm spit out. Which I guess if you did the draft online, it's a similar thing, but I don't know. All right, so that's all of the matchups. We're I think coming in close to about an hour here, so we can sign off. Any closing thoughts, Corey, Chris?
Excited for the year to kick off. Thank you both for having me on the pod. Like what you guys are putting together here. And yeah, excited for week 1.
It's gonna be
Yeah,
good. Good luck to everybody. We'll see you after week 1.
Tom, you
yeah.
suck.
And I was gonna say, Corey, you still don't have the trophy, so
I
Brian
don't.
has that. However,
Yeah.
you do not have the name plates for the trophy. So
Sounds like a
that
problem.
is going to be a problem for you. We'll have to get you those somehow. Ultimately, though, we just need to be the trophy needs to be at the draft. It's the second year in a row that hasn't happened. We're gonna have to start fining,
Yeah.
maybe a fine or
Taking
something,
picks
or
away.
taking picks away. We can like reduce a 5th round pick or something like that. All right, that's the show. Thanks guys for listening, and we'll be back next week after the matchups are solidified.
Sounds good.